Right, so it's the 16th of January 2025, sorry. Right, there's a few things I need to mention. I had to get a YouTube video off of the internet because I was talking about yesterday's energy weapons and burning that was occurring on the 14th of January into the 15th. And obviously, for the respect of the neighbour, I deleted those videos off. There's some very unusual animal sounds this morning. So Seagull says spastic and shagged Amy Weston, and then the seagulls have sex on the roof directly after. Well, I've never been with Amy, and the Amy type is not actually possible to replace either, because that's a very sexual, smooth-skinned type of woman. Obviously, this person's been with lots of people, especially 20 years ago. It's not replaceable. I can tell you that. You'd be struggling, even people in their mid-20s, to replace something like that. So, God's made a bit of a mistake there, saying that I've been with this Amy. You had a few Sadie threats, but all in all it wasn't that bad last night. I think there's about 2 pages, but there was a lot of stuff that was mentioned outside, and there was a lot of reference to you being knife dead or having a break-in and stuff like that. So it hasn't been perfect, but I have known it a lot worse. Right, 6 phone calls ring at me. Hang on, I've got black. Hang on. Right, cell caught in bus queue. Also, right, let me get these sheets from yesterday. I'll see if I can get the right sheets. That is. Right, don't make it easy. Right, so penis up to lower bike 19 times. Same mind can come in. Rather personal thing to speak about, but it's very annoying, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Bikes and cars revving, being shot dead, just molested Sadie. There's a couple of gun sounds, but I'm going to get through this quickly. Go through this in brief. So, loud bike to piss in, X-ray shot dead said. Hard Wayne said burning occurs a little bit. Middle of February said that's outside. There's been no threats inside, if I recall. This has all been like outside, not on the premises. Extremely sad, just Bowers was having a break-in tomorrow, just child rape. There's no one left, said sick cunt, mental case. Had Stephanie just, and that's increasing, by the way, the Stephanie threat. That's a threat that's sort of 2011 and before. Knife you dead, molested Stephanie, going. Where is it? So you've got that. Right, so this sheet mostly talks about excited issues with my privates. So there's a few bangs to say dead and all, all the rest of it. Have to move on, Justin said. Breaking in, Justin said. Paedophile, just. Just gonna see it. Time to itchy, whatever. All the. So yeah, it's been a bit like that, but it hasn't been that bad. But still, I got through the basics. Right, so we got some red sick white car, purple company van, so that says purple on the side of it. Sex for you, that's the number 4 in the letter U. Guarantee van, no how van, advance air van, and bike only to an erection. Hard gushers, wet sneezes nearest to me on the bus. Black and blue Pickford's van. Bike only, learner car. Make life happy again. The Dead Sisters van. Coming of age car, but it's got a T at the end of the G, so it's spelled COMINGT, but it's coming of age. Skipper danger jumper. Right, Zimmer frames for you van. So that's Zimmer frames, the number 4 letter U. In actual fact, that's a new van name. I often see the granny's view, but not that one, and a light blue Sectoral car. Right, obviously, the sun's come out, fuck's sake. Great. Right, I cancelled my trip to Weymouth yesterday with Trudy, which is one of the staff workers, because I was going to go to Weymouth today. But because I have to go back to where I'm going to today to retake the pictures because the sun came out, it means that I've got to rearrange my schedule. But the sun's out at the moment, this is the problem there. Right, so I've got the Sex for You again, and the Purple Company van, but they're rubbing it in because obviously there's a cloud sweeper van and they're trying to bring the sun out, but I can't do my pictures if that sun's out. This is why I had to cancel the Weymouth trip today, because with the staff at Supported Housing, because they won't stop bringing the sun out for me to mess up the photos that I've been trying to take. And hazy sunshine's okay for the photo I'm taking because it is inside a building, but the problem is they're trying to make it blue skies and sunshine every single day. Apart from about 45 minutes for 2025 and the morning of the 1st of January 2025, and those 45 minutes of cloud cover are on various days. Take that away, every single day has been blue skies and sunny for 2025, and we're now on the 16th of January. Right, so I've had to waste another £3 on the bus, unfortunately, so it's going to be a waste of day again, because what's happened is the government have made it sunny. They swept away all that mist, cloud or whatever, and it's a blue sky sunny day. Well, this means I can't get the pictures I want to take. This is why I couldn't do it yesterday. They predicted cloud yesterday, and there was a food bank in the church, and I couldn't take the pictures because people were in the church. I couldn't do it until it finished, and when it was finished, it was very sunny. Right, anyway, red white car, 2 red grey, knife shaped pushchair, DES van, Sex in the Sunshine t-shirt, and Smales van, SMALES. DX van to apply sex, Make It Mike van, so that's obviously my dad's name, Mike, so what they're trying to say is make it right. Sunshine solves all the problems t-shirt. Oh, does it really? Right, black and blue, bonus bike, Brighton up van, Brighton van, sorry, sex car, penis up bike, black Sectoral tines, black mixed with red Sectoral, white with light on. I've just phoned out the staff to find out whether it's going to be cloudy, and not very happy with me because I cancelled the appointment of going to Weymouth. But the thing is, I got to do these pictures when I can, when you can get a cloud. And obviously, because this is what happens, you see. You go out when it's cloudy and it turns out blue skies and sunshine. And trying to take a picture of what you want to take a picture of can take months and months and months just to find a cloudy section of the day where you can take the picture. And I got to go for it, you know. That's the problem. You don't have there's no cloudy days anymore. Look at 2023. Roughly 6 24-hour days for the whole of 2023. Otherwise, every single day has been blue skies and sunshine. Right, sneezes nearest to me and coughs. Right, black Sectoral car. Lisa, I don't know if I mentioned this, Lisa loves the sunshine van. Spastic, in a wheelchair. Cell call begins. Red mixed with white Sectoral car. BKT, bucket van, Bullworthy van, Fowler. Seagull says funny. Firstly, there's a Turner's Vehicle timed, a rack van, and a sex car timed. Well, the thing is, I can't take these pictures in the sun, and this sun's causing a lot of trouble. I mean, it's caused a lot of trouble this morning, especially when I spoke to, you know, because I've had to mess up a day. I mean, I forgot to tell them that, well, I did actually mention it quickly yesterday, but they didn't make a note of it. That there's not guaranteed that I'm going to be doing the Weymouth trip, because the sun has stopped me getting the pictures yesterday. And again, they predicted cloudy weather. They're doing it every single day. The problem is, at the moment, we're on lower level ground, so there's mist that's giving hazy sunshine, but it's not It's touch and go whether it's hazy enough for me to get the fucking pictures. This is inside a building, by the way, not outside. I'll tell you, I'm ripped. God has fallen. Really, really fucking fallen. Without getting... Seagull says sad. Sexual timed. Seagull says sad. Seagull says pedo repeatedly. Vaping stench at me. Dog barks pervert, Justin. And making it clear that I fucked Amy Weston when I haven't. So obviously God's fallen. Right, so obviously I've had to leave the destination I'm at because it's sunny, so I'm getting the bus. I'm going to have to clarify the pictures I've already taken because, quite simply, the government want it to be sunny. Buggy timed, drain covers slammed over and started cars. Right, Sequel says funny chap, sell quality, start a car, the bike issue and bike only issue, and bikes pushed on a path, time to itchy, whatever. Right, there's a bit of hazy sunshine. It's still bright, the sun's still coming through, obviously, drains it over. There's been several bike issues and too itchy, whatever. But it might be possible to get the picture that I wanted to take a picture of in the church. In the church. Well, it's about a 5-minute walk to the church. I think it might be possible actually, which is good news. It has, however, meant missing the trip out, but then again, if it's sunny in Weymouth, I wouldn't have been able to get any pictures anyway. So the thing is, they're relying on the forecast about the weather being cloudy, and although they're showing mist on certain pages and not showing mist, they're not taking into account that the sun's coming through. They're disguising it, so you can't go out when they thinking that you can get some pictures on a cloudy day when they forecast mist. When they forecast mist, you've got to take into account that you don't know what's behind it, you know. You've got to wait until they show a grey cloud or a white cloud. Sometimes when they show a white cloud, it's a blue sky sunny day. When it's part sunshine and part cloudy, nearly every time they forecast that, and especially in the last 2 years, you know, sort of sunny spells or whatever with cloud, you can't take that for granted. When that occurs, it's blue skies and sunshine. They usually lie there, or if they're not lying, they're not predicting it very cleverly, and that's hundreds of times. Someone goes in my bag, I'm not happy about that. I catch them it would have been about 5 seconds after they rustled my bag. I'm not too happy about that. They thought they're looking for their food bank, which is possibly true because it was where I was yesterday. Right, so black sexual car angled at me, but just before that there was a Gemma Ferguson lookalike. Obviously this person's about, I'd say 35-ish, so a bit older than Gemma Ferguson, and slightly smoother skin than Gemma Ferguson, but for the Gemma Ferguson type, people have different skin types, so obviously she is slightly less attractive. In actual fact, she's got to an age where, or well, not an age, but to a time where she's actually becoming not able to fancy as such. What I was going to say is, going back 8 years or more ago, one person younger than me and one person older than me said they were shocked that I could fancy Gemma Ferguson, and then a few years later I try and make communication. I left a piece of paper in the charity shop where she works, and she phoned me up and started a row saying that I'm sick as fuck because she's 31 or whatever it was, whatever age she was, and saying, you got the nerve to ask a 31-year-old woman, you fucking sick as fuck, what I would say, and you're 40 years of age, or something like that. I can't remember what she said now, but and then said, what I got against you, I don't, not everyone, you know, sort of this and that. Obviously there's loads of traffic, so I won't go in, and loads of people, so I know we'll go into a proper story. It's already on YouTube anyway. Incidentally, the Gemma Ferguson type don't look like they're the type that like me. I don't know how it was going back years ago because I can't remember, but in today's time. Right, more bike issues. Sicko says knife dead, and Sicko, that chap, said. Right, peace, poke van and photo taken of me. Right, so black sexual car, blue at me, black and blue, black stick. SWP van, but it's not the Somerset Waste Partnership, but can apply that. Simmer frame my way white, simmer frame angled and timed at me. So Ben said someone had mistaken for bully shoes after bike only, angled at me, and Magna van. Another bike issue, Palmer's van, grey, white, grey. Right, sneezes are diverting me in one direction and the car reversing at me with a catalytic converter divert in the other direction. 4 more. Now I'm notified now, oh. Right, so yeah, bike to erection. There's no choice. I try avoiding some people to get past, but cars stop and get past. So you can't. You're controlled. I'm a fucking control freak. All right, Christ. Right. Yeah. Now, oh God. Yes. Now it's time to try and buy something. If I can, that is. Included a knife shake. Oh, that goes down dead end. Yeah, 2 people walked past saying, well, actually, they seem to be a bit more intelligent in the Bridport area, to be fair. They said, I can't quite understand why everywhere this person goes. He said he was there yesterday and the day before, so they saw me yesterday and the day before, and they said they can't quite understand what's causing the structural movement control around me to come out in such an awkward pattern. And he said he's a very unlucky chap, and saying it looks deliberate, you know, and all that. But you know, he didn't go into a conversation that long, but he just said, I couldn't remember the wording, but that's what he said. So you have more started cars as I passed, 1 bike issue, 2 people tried sneezing in my face, a couple of animal voice sounds in a twisted, corrupt way, unfortunately. And then I made it to the church, where I'm going to just hang about. I could, if I wanted to, walk to the next place, and I could probably do it in the time period before I get the last bus. But the thing is, one, it's sunny, and the other is I just can't be bothered to put up with the setup stuff. I'm feeling pretty down. These setups are continuous 24/7 every day. I don't know why it happens, but yeah, I want to start. The reason I started doing these recordings, these like documenting these problems when I go out, is because quite simply, it's a daily occurrence. You know, it's started to pick up. You know, it's getting worse and worse. So, 2025, the setups are heavier in 2025. Apart from today, because today's been a bit calmer. Today. And that Saturday going back about 5 weeks ago, something like that. I can't remember, it's just before Christmas. So you had that Saturday, the one evening when I went to McDonald's with a neighbour, and a couple of minutes I went outside when I had the stomach upset and I couldn't go anywhere, if you get what I'm saying. Was coming out the rear. It wouldn't stop. So take those 3 incidents away, the last 60 days or whatever, these setups or whatever you want to call it, control force around me has got a lot heavier. So it's been stepped up big time, and it's just making it awkward to go anywhere. You can't do nothing. It's just But today there's a bit of ease on the setups. Obviously initially I was going to go to Weymouth, and then I saw the forecast, which they got wrong. I did manage to get the picture I wanted. So what there was is like a misty sort of cloud that went across the sun. It was only a few seconds, maybe a minute, and luckily, because I was smoking outside at the time, outside the church, I saw it coming, and I thought, I'll go in the church and I'll have the next bit in a minute. Ended up having another fag. So then I went into the church. The camera's already, they had the light on, I didn't see it initially, and I thought, bloody hell, come on, I need to turn that off, quick. Managed to do that, took about 20 random shots, and one of them came out. So yeah, I was lucky, really lucky with that, and I'm happy I managed to. So it's better than yesterday's, because yesterday's had like a cream, well, it's hard to explain. You know the sort of colour you get when it's sunny? The shadowy colours of the sunshine. You didn't have that dull day effect, and I wanted that dull day effect. Because the windows have got like drawings in it, what do you call it? I've forgotten the name, the paintings that you have in windows in churches, meant that it would eliminate it if it was hazy sunshine, and it'd make it look like it's cloudy inside the church. So even with the hazy sunshine I managed to get the picture. But yesterday, the thing is, it was just full on bright yellow sunshine, where it is today. But I was grateful for that little bit of cloud cover. But you did have a lot of mist, although it was sunny. It was sunny. You couldn't really put it down as hazy sunshine. It was sunny because it's going through the mist. But here and there, the mist is like picked up. It picked up only for that short period of time I was in the church. So I had it straight on. And the way that occurred was good timing, because usually the timing's not good. However, I was going to go further on in the other direction anyway, so it's lucky I turned around, because if I, and that is the only cloudy part of today, really, where I could do it. So obviously I've passed a couple of people, coming off the Weymouth bus at Bridport, and they said that the sun's out. They said it's a clear sky in Weymouth, no mist at all, and blue skies and sunshine. So if I was to go there with the staff, photograph wise it would have been a bad day to choose, but I did rearrange my schedule. Obviously the staff aren't too happy, because obviously I didn't inform them. Well, I did and I didn't. I let Trudy know in the staff office, who was on yesterday, that I might be going back to Bridport, so it's not guaranteed that I should be going to Weymouth with Zach tomorrow, which is one of the staff workers. Can't give surnames, obviously. But being a really grey this morning, I thought, you've got to go. As soon as you get out of Yeovil, quite literally, before you even got to West Coker, the sun was out. So I made a big mistake. Even though I made that mistake, I managed to get the picture I wanted. So that is the main reason I wanted to go out. And also, there was another period where the sun was hazy, and that was on the bus to Beaminster to come into the church that I'm in now. Obviously it's sunny, yeah, but it was hazy sun rather than full-blown blue skies and sunshine. Otherwise that is basically the only weather you've had is sun. It's also this church, by the way. You've got the, I don't know what you call it, the baby Jesus. And I was taking pictures of the baby Jesus while waiting for an hour for the bus. When I came in there the day before yesterday. Now I don't know if it was a spiritual move from the Jesus doll, or whether it was just where it is dull-ish, that because it's in like a dark area and it's sort of, unless you've got the flash you can't see it properly, so your eyes sort of focus on it, but it's like a fuzzy vision. It's the Jesus moved its lips as to say fuck. It's sort of in a way as if to say, you want to fuck, do you? But the thing is, prayers are not working. I give it today because today the setups have been bad, obviously, but they're more like your average amount of setups for this place, rather than being really heavy. But you know, it can all change. And obviously when it comes to Jesus, I've been praying because obviously he's telling me he knows what I need. So but the thing is, do prayers work? This is trial and error, really. I mean, how do I know that it's not a different spirit that's moved the lips of the Jesus? This is the thing, I don't know. And I can't guarantee that those lips moved. But relaying a message like that is, it's not a bad message, you know, when you've never had anyone in your whole life. But it's finding that person, you see, who's single, who's not a single parent, because obviously I don't want a single parent, because actually the Bible says you shouldn't be able to be a single parent. If you're a single man that's unmarried and a clean, you should be going with someone clean. In actual fact, it's not going to be possible, but obviously I want someone who's clean-ish. It's not going to be possible, but really you should be going with someone that's a virgin near enough, or has had minimal sex, if at all. So, you know, but many people say that you're sick because you won't fancy the negative type. But I can't take to these, what I nicknamed sick off the floor types of faces. I just cannot take to wrinkly type of skin, unhygienic looking appearance, and a goofy look, or that disgusting, you sort of people that type, you know, disgusting looking faces, if that's the right word to use. I just can't take to that type. And the fact that all my enemies have stopped me getting anyone in the past, and the government and the police force control around me, or closing shops, or taking bus services off, changing things that occur on that day, closing dating sites down that I've been on, or messing up this and that, stopping me seeing members on dating sites, or if the rare person that has messaged me, they've messed it up, or they closed a dating site down, or the dongle stick's broken, or something like that. You know, you've had hundreds of incidents like that. I mean hundreds, and I'm not making that up, where they've stopped me getting anyone. And then obviously you've got to look at this control force. It hasn't happened so much today, but I haven't walked into any sexual people today. But all the time I'll go out, they're timing people to sneeze in my face, timing rough people in my direction, to stop me going into these types of people that look sexy or sexual looking. I mean, I remember times when there was people that I kind of knew that I passed in Bridgewater. This goes back before I even moved to Burnham-on-Sea. And also I was trying to sort of, you're trying to think, oh, shall I ask if that person's single, or try and get in a conversation? But you can't, because what's happening at the time, every single time this is, not just once or twice, it's like you've been jinxed. Every single time that I pass a specific person, or that person, I want to go to speak to this person, I can't, because you've got a whole load of rough people digging with threats and trouble, and you don't feel safe and feel comfortable to speak at the time. And then it's about, you know, you might not never see that person again, if you get what I'm saying. They've done that on many times, over 100 times, well over 100, probably a few hundred, especially before the year 2012. Not so much in recent times, but probably about 200 to 300, you know, in the time period of, say, 2005 onwards. And even before that time, I couldn't get anyone, because all the roughneck type people were in relationships with all the teenagers. There was a time where one of these sort of rough types of people made one of the teenage girls pregnant that I wanted to try and get with at a younger age, when I was younger. And he said, unfortunately, you can't go with her now, because I've made a mistake. I've come in her family and stuff like that. So what he did is he told me, Well, I'll tell you what. When my says, you know, later on when I see this person says, yeah, when my daughter grows up or whatever, this is in Bridgewater. This initially the pregnant woman occurred in North Petherton, and then I saw this person in Bridgewater when I moved to Bridgewater. He said, when my daughter grows up, you can have her. So, but the thing is, his daughter has got me down as a sick piece of shit, and she's a single mother with 2 children. And I don't know what age she had sex to become single mothers, but you go on Facebook, sometimes you go on pages, you know, looking for, seeing if there's single people. Some of these people are saying they're single mothers before legal age of sexual consent. This is the problem. And everybody's in a relationship when they reach, when they've left primary school. So 11 up, or 12, they're in a relationship. And this is all over the internet. I mean, I don't bother looking at these sorts of profiles, looking at children to see if there's relationships or anything like that. But now and again, if you like, because some people just put like a picture on there of another woman, celebrity picture, or you just sometimes click the pages and it comes up or whatever. And because they use different ages to get into Facebook and other things, even on YouTube, on documentaries. I mean, these children are in relationships. You've got these women that are talking about rapture dreams, or women that are talking about different things, you know, and they're saying that my daughter, she's 11 now and she's in a relationship with a boyfriend, and you know, or they've been in a relationship and now they haven't split up since the age of 11 or whatever, which is making it impossible for me to get anyone. You've got to take into account I'm 43 years of age, coming up 44 this year, and I've not had nothing at all in my whole life. So what they're doing is they're digging with this Wayne business from 1994. They started doing that in 1997, and I started making conspiracies. I was posting pages of, you know, these sorts of things to the BBC and Bridgewater Mercury, which is known as My Life Deep Depression Story Pack, because I was still doing that even in 2005. I was still doing the sheets, but I ended up ripping them up because I didn't have it I wanted to write it down on a word pad, because I then come into the times of using a computer rather than pen and paper. So I used to photocopy the sheets and post it to these places, and I bought out the Wayne business. The actual Wayne suggestion in all setups died out in 2007, and Wayne being suggested with vehicles on the road between 2007 till the start of the lockdown, there's probably less than 100 suggestions for the whole of that time period. You know, you might get the Wainwright vehicle now and again, but the Wayne suggestion was literally died out, which was hardly surprising because I documented stuff regarding Wayne and all the rest of it in the past. You know, it's one of the slyest sort of ways they try to put you down as having someone. It's like this prostitute that mugs me. Just because she did 6 moves on me, they're putting it down to, oh, that's good enough, right, now we can rip you to pieces and slice you. You know, you've got to take into account that it wasn't proper sex. And you've got to take into account it's to make money, scamming me. And obviously she wasn't good looking either. If you look at Lisa Pike, and I mention that I can't fancy Lisa Pike, well, this young lady, the prostitute, who calls herself Jeanette, looks very similar to one of the staff workers called Catalin, but she had rougher skin, and she had rougher skin than what Lisa Pike would have had roughly at that age. She was not a good looking type, so I was sort of in a mind to answer the door, to be honest, but I couldn't see. I couldn't see properly, and obviously being in a suicidal situation, no sex, and thinking to myself that I've been left in peril and God's turned on me or whatever, and there's no sex and I can't do nothing, I thought, well, I might as well have that before I end my life. But it didn't go into sex, it went into a scam, and then the possibility of the boyfriend or whatever wanting to meet up with me in April of 2022 to smash me in with a knife onto the railway track at Highbridge. However, that might not be connected to that person. It could be connected to any of these people like Gemma, Amanda, Kim, friends of Sadie Dando, that is. I don't know. All I do know is it wouldn't be from Sadie Dando, because that's family, and all this trouble seems to be more towards the people that used to be friends with that side of the family. In actual fact, some of those people, I don't think they're actually friends, some of these people anymore, which is hardly surprising, because they're probably still on Facebook or whatever, but all in all, they like to sort of keep friendship, but you just know that is that they're not on good terms. Obviously, I won't go into their business or anything like that, but that's that. So yeah, ever since the lockdown, the actual setups, I've mentioned this loads of times, the actual setups in the lockdown period or whatever, just before 1 year before we went into lockdown, the first lockdown that is, all the setups were collapsing. I was walking into sexual people. Even people in their late teens were smiling at me. I was in my 30s at that time, high 30s, but even at that age, you get teenagers smiling in a sexual way, up passing me, legal age teenagers, obviously. But for people that young, in Somerset, they moan about it usually, so different parts of the country, it's different. Because I used to have a friend called Lewis Morton on Facebook, and he fell out with me 10 years ago. And I was saying that people moan about the age. I said, I'm 33 or whatever, or 34, I can't remember the age. And I said, and she's 8, I said, a woman 18, you won't get a woman 18. And he said, what was it he said? He says, you want to fucking get your head looked at. He's saying it's not a problem when a woman is 18, she's legal age. And sort of started that, and I said, no, people moan about the age, they put you down as sick, they're trying to up it to 21 or 25, and he says, no, they're not. He says, that's all in your head. You want to, and said all that. He says, and he said, okay, so what was it like in the days when you went to the Coventry raves, when he's a sort of teenager, when he's younger. He's only 1 year older than me, but he's sort of harder sort of person, and he's more socialisable, and they said, so what age would a 18-year-old go with? Would it go with someone 40, 50? And he said, it's not the age. He said, it'd go with any age. He said, if it's a prostitute, they'd go with any age. And I said, no, they moan at the age. I said, they do on Viva Street, when I was using Viva Street at the time. And he says, no, they don't. And he sort of went on like that, And I'm saying, an 18-year-old will not allow it. That's someone over the age of 30, and he just didn't believe me at the time. I don't know whether his thoughts would be different now, because people are changed. The media is trying to push people to force people with older people. I don't know, but back 10 years ago, he still believed that I could have got someone at the age of 18 when I was 33 or 34. Today I'm 43, coming up 44, and I've still not had anyone. But even with the information that he gave back then, he said, we're a prostitute, they'd go with any age, and he said, they would fuck any age, and so. But that was the case, and I do actually remember, and I do know that what he's saying is true, but not for this time, not for our time. This is going back to, say, the 90s, or just before when it was the start of the smartphone coming in, or the internet mobile phone. This is when the change took place, where people started getting fussy about age groups and all the rest of it. Before that time, it wasn't a problem. And go with any age. I mean, myself, I've seen rough people that are only teenagers in their early 20s with people in their 50s, which is older than I am. And it's seen as normal. Let's look at Katrina Rich, which is Mark Rich's brother, who went to Elmwood School. Katrina went to Elmwood School as well, but Katrina knows Jason Dando. She was only in her teens, late teens. She's probably, actually, I don't know, actually. And she was with someone roughly my age or a few years older than me, of what my age is now. And it was okay. And he was walking around town with her, because I saw it on a regular basis when I was living in Bridgewater in the 2006 to 2008 area, and no one could give a damn. They saw it as normal. Nowadays you wouldn't be able to do that. It's not so much the age that's the problem. It's the fact that everybody is stale, super used, old, single mothers, and when you've not had anyone in your life, you expect to have someone who's a little bit fresher, you know, especially when it's your enemies that stop you getting anyone. It's your enemies that have put it all through in the past with the lies that they've been causing, like saying that he's been injected with HIV, and that's what turned a lot of women against me, by saying that. They were saying that I got HIV when I didn't, and now it's too late to do anything. So the only sex I've had in my whole life is basically, they want to go on about that Wayne business, so they're rubbing that in, and that, you know, that prostitute or whatever. But basically, the only sex I've had in my whole life is being sexually abused as a child. And if we go back to a clairvoyant reading I had 15 plus years ago, she was saying that in a previous life, I was working in a laboratory. The reading's pretty vague. It's they don't give you much information. I didn't get much information on that reading. And she said that, she says, I had it quite bad in my previous life, because she says I was a female in my last life, and says I was abused as a little girl repeatedly, and saying, you had a very, very bad childhood in my previous life before I became a worker in a laboratory. And obviously she said I didn't have a partner. It says I wasn't lucky enough to find a boyfriend in my previous life. And then she said that I died tragically, but she didn't say how I died. But she said it was a tragic death to the end of my previous life. And she was joking to say that I was quite a good-looking woman. And she said I died in my early 20s in my previous life. And that's basically all I can remember, without checking my life story pack or the informational photographs or whatever I've got of the information that, you know, of that specific reading. It'll take me forever to find it, but if I do eventually find it, I will give you more details on that. The problem is I've not had anything in my last life, I've not had anyone in this life, so I've got to wait until my next life. But what's happening with the setups and control force around me, or animal voice sounds or whatever, they're telling me that I'm being ripped to pieces in my next life and being sexually abused as a child in my next life. And then with the setups or wording on vehicles or t-shirt names coming out as a message or whatever, they're making the suggestion that I'm going to be sexually abused, and then a crocodile's going to eat my guts up, or a snake is going to paralyse me with venom, kill me to death, before I'm old enough to have sex with anyone. So that'd be 3 lives of sexual murder committed on me, which is known as blue murder. They don't use that term anymore, but that's what sexual murder's known as, blue murder. That's an old term that goes back to the 1980s, which was still used in the very early part of the 90s, and they phased the saying out. It doesn't exist anymore. So how I'm going to get anyone that I can fancy is going to be fucking impossible. I don't know if it is possible. It's not going to be done without... They did mention, there are people that mention, this goes back even 15 years or so ago, they're saying that it's the government that's stopping you get anyone with all this force they got around you. And this goes back, you know, when the setups were less heavier than what they are now. And my enemies are saying, well, the government are going to have to find you out. They're going to have to sort it out, because they're the ones that are messing it up. That's why you haven't got no one. And saying being mentally disabled as well doesn't help the issue. I mean, people weren't just one-sided back in those days. But there are so many people that are, you know, giving me trouble under this Stephanie threat. But a lot of it all calmed down, you see. And actually, by 2011, it literally went calm as anything. So all the threats died out almost completely. Even the Sadie Dando threat that occurred back at that time, because that started at the Fathers for Justice time period, and even that's died out. Back in 2011, that is. And I need the loo. I need a shit. So I'm going to have to leave the church in a minute, because they locked the toilets in the church for some reason. So yeah, so these setups, they were saying that they're going to have to sort it out. They're the ones that fucked it up for you, and other people said it. Even people like office people, whatever, said, well, they're the bastards that fucked it up, and saying they're the bastards that are going to have to fix it, aren't they? And saying that's basically what they said. But this goes back to like 2008 or whatever year it was. You know, back in that time period, somewhere between 2005 to 2011, all this was being mentioned. They're saying, okay, if the government want to play nasty, then obviously they want to stop him getting anyone, or they want to stop him getting there, or whatever. They said that then they're the bastards that are going to have to find him out. That's the term they use. So what they mean by that is they're going to have to find him a partner or girlfriend because they messed up. But this goes back then. But the problem is, with my age now, they've completely messed it up. They've sliced my wrist. There's nothing I can do about it. It wouldn't be so bad, but the problem is I don't take to negative attraction. And I have spoken to a couple of people in the year 2023, and they were saying you shouldn't be with negative attraction. If you never had anyone before, everyone's entitled to go with what they like, because some people fancy people for the way they look, some people fancy people for the type of things they do, interests, and many different things. And saying, obviously, if you haven't had no one at all in your whole life, then yes, you should be entitled to a younger age person that's clean. And saying, also, I can't remember how it was worded, but they said, you're quite right. Of course, if you saying you don't want to be with a single mother, they say you shouldn't have to be with a single mother. You said you've never been in a relationship before, then you should be entitled to like everybody else. You know, if their first ever relationship, you never had anyone, then you should be entitled to someone who's not a single mother. There's a certain way it was worded, which was polite, but I can't remember how it was worded, because again, it goes back before 2011. We're in 2024 now, 2025, so how's it going to work now? Because obviously I don't take to granny attraction. I mean, there's people have told me that are negative attraction, even going back then. And when you look at the pictures of how these people looked that I couldn't fancy back then because they had negative attraction, they still had that smooth appearance in the face. And I think to myself, I can fancy that today. And they won't even let you have that. You're known as a sick bastard unless you go with someone that got revolting skin. It's got to have, also, women have a different appearance in face than men. So men actually look more cleaner than women after they reach the age of 30. So when they're telling you can't go with a smooth sexual appearance woman, they're telling you that you've got to go with homosexual attraction skin types. The problem is, I don't take to homosexual skin types of older skin or a male attraction skin. I mean, we've had some setups recently in the last few years, basically saying that homosexual attraction is what you should be with, and making suggestion gay and laughing about it, with the setups, the politicians that are setting this up, if it is the politicians that are setting this up. And then they're taking the piss out of me, telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child, and going gay, and then cheering Van, yeah, being donut brains about it. So, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the mentality of the way that these people operate. But the setups that are occurring don't seem to be by the same sort of... It seems to be a mixture of extremely nasty, rough types of people that are in power, mixed with these stupid people that go, yeah, sort of with the setups. So it's a mixed setups, but all the setups are nasty. And obviously it's too late to do anything. I've been sexually slaughtered, and I don't know if this is the right word to use, but sexually crucified, unless anyone's willing to allow the age gap. But if they did, they'd have to pretend to be a friend rather than in a sexual relationship because of the age gap, if that did ever exist or whatever. And I know that there are people that are in sexual relationships, even today, with massive age gaps, in their teens with people my age or older. There's not many, and it's usually the mentally disabled or those that have had a really bad life, because that's the way something they were doing. This goes back even further. They released a track called Scooter the Night. Now at that time people didn't like me, because they just thought I was a fucking prick or whatever back in that time period. But what they were doing is men that were in their 20s, 30s and 40s, I'm not sure about 50s, but definitely in their 20s, 30s and 40s, they were giving, I don't want to put it like this, but they were giving very young females to people that have had a bad life. And I've been started on. So what's happened is I saw someone about 40ish, maybe just a bit younger than me, but it's still in the 40s, with like a 16, 15, 16-year-old. And obviously it wasn't seen as a problem, 15, 16-year-olds back then, because people were getting in relationships. Nowadays it went to 18, then it changed, then it's 21, now it's 25, now they're going all over the place with it to cause it to be as high as anything. Like I said, it's not age, it's the problem, it's being able to fancy that person and hoping it's not a single mother or someone that's too used, which is not possible at my age. That's what I said, it's too late, especially with the changes and the way people's minds work today and all the rest of it. But because of this Scooter's Night track, they turned Susan against me, but they didn't turn Susan against me, and it was partly because she turned 17 and they changed the age of sexual consent from 16 to 18 in 2003 and then dropped it back down to 16 in 2004. Once they turned Susan against me by pissing about with the age of consent, she found someone who was the same age in that year, and then the year after they dropped it back down to 16 again. So, but this is, some people weren't like that, but I'd been started on by rough people in their 50s when I was in my early 20s and being shouted to be smashed in or whatever. If you fucking ever, if you basically having a go at me saying, don't want to moan about them, saying he's had a fucking bad life, mate. And I was sort of thinking to myself, yeah, he's 14, he's in a relationship or whatever with a girl that's only 15 or 16. And basically, this rough type guy, it's a bearded type in fact, but it's a different type of bearded type than today. But near enough as rough, just a different accent and a different sort of temper. And basically said, if you've got a problem with it, you've got me to deal with, because I'll smash you to pieces. He's had a bad life, alright? And he's entitled to that girl. So he basically started a row like that, revved his engine, and fucked off. And I had a couple of people in the van as well in their 30s start on me for similar reasons. But this was mostly in the 2003 period. And at the time this is occurring, that Scooter's Night track is being twisted against me. They've also twisted the Maria track against me, and they've tried hitting me off on Scooter's Weekend track. But there's nothing you can do about the military using force control with the media to try and knock people off. Right, another thing I want to mention, because I just had to pop outside, is you've got people that are saying that these people are paedophile attraction and saying you should be fancying this type or that type or whatever. Some of the types that they tell me to fancy, I wasn't so keen on back in the times when they said it, but today I can fancy them. But obviously they have mentioned that other type as well, the Munter type, but that's usually to be nasty. With today, it's not to be nasty, they're actually getting nasty with me because I won't fancy the Munter type. So when they were insulting me back then, saying he'll have to go with that type, look at that, I can't stand, just type that I can't stand the look of. They've insulted me telling me I have to go with that type. Yeah. When it's in 2020 onwards, I'm actually being told I'm a sick cunt if I don't go with that type. And they're getting nasty and serious about it. I'm threatening to take my life or smash me and or kill me. Or knife me or inject me. Or to break in or burgle me or whatever. So that just shows you how things have fucking changed. And the other thing I want to mention is they're telling me that I'm supposed to be with, when it comes to the more sexier types rather than Munter types, they're telling me that I'm supposed to be with that type, like that dark haired lady, with smooth skin or whatever, saying she's still got smooth skin, she's alright, why can't you fucking fancy her? That would have been what was said 10, 15 years ago. Well, I can fancy that type, yeah. But even that type today got me down as a sick cunt. There's literally no one at all. They won't let you have anything basic. You're known as a sick cunt unless it's that munter type, the really negative type that I don't take to. I was having a conversation with my mum saying, you know, I was showing the types of people that I'm being told to go with, taking some pictures off the dating site, and even she agreed that not everybody takes to that type. I mean, I showed the picture of Lisa Pike to many people, including my doctor. I'm not going to give his name because obviously it's the wrong thing to do, and obviously he's only giving his opinion. And he says he doesn't criticise people because obviously he's a doctor, so he's a bit more friendly about it. And he says, I can see where you're coming from, where you don't fancy this Lisa or whatever from the photo I showed him, which is when she was somewhere between 28 and 33 maximum. But she said, the doctor said, everyone's to their own preference in taste. And he says there are people that can't take to that type. He says, I agree with you, there are many people that won't take to that type. Many men, that won't take to that type of attraction. But he says you don't have to go with that person. So he said there's other things in life, but other people might see this person as being better looking or may prefer that type. He says it's all down to personal preference, but he says he can see, and he says he knows that not all people take to that type, and he told me not all men would take to that type of attraction. Well, I'm actually told, even the doctor who said that which goes back 8 years ago, 10 years ago, even though the doctor said that, when it comes to my enemies or people starting around on me and Yeovil, they're actually telling me I'm a sick cunt if I don't fancy that type, and actually getting aggressive about it. So what's going on? What's the reason for all this change and being told to go with these ugly types that you can't take to? I showed specific family members, relatives, the picture of Lisa, and some of them say that not everybody takes to that type or done that, and you've got to take into account, I've even had in 2024, possibly 23, I can't remember, I've even been told that I shouldn't be looking at the Lisa Pike type, and I can't take to that already. I've actually had women actually comment on my picture saying you're a sad bastard, saying that you won't even saying you're not even supposed to fancy that at your age, saying you're supposed to be with groggy faces or grot faces. And you're thinking to yourself, you've got to take into account that I've never had anyone. But there's nothing you can do about it. So this is the difficulty. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the country, because like I said, before the lockdown, I've seen people my age, older than me and a bit younger than me, in sexual relationships with people in their early 20s or look like they're in their 20s. It's mostly foreign people, I will say that, so it's not all British, but I have seen British people as well. But the thing is, like I said, I don't take to negative attraction. And just check the phone a minute because I don't want to miss that bus, and all that problem. So you just want to mention it. Talking of waiting for the bus, I've still got a few minutes. I just want to mention that this is probably, unless I come here tomorrow or when I next manage to take the pictures of another place, of two specific pictures and a fire beacon that I found, and when the bus did a diversion to do a turnaround, which is a road I didn't go down, then it's possibly that I will only ever come here one more time, for now that is, or not at all. And then obviously it won't be another 6 months or a year, possibly, until I come back here again. The problem is, in the summer months you can't go to this place anyway, because it was when it had the logo on the Google sign, it said Route 666, and this place where I'm at now, you had the worstest setups. Every corner you turned, everywhere, you had about 1,000 setups in 20 minutes, or just over 20 minutes. Every corner, you went that way, you went that way, sneeze in your face that way, sneeze in your face that way, turn back that way, sneeze in your face that way, car reversing at you that way. You just couldn't move. It was one of the worstest setups I've ever known in my whole life for structural force against me, that heavy and that controlled for that short period of time was this place. And it's the same day they had Route 666 that was on the Google image platform. But hasn't been that bad since. There has been days where it's been bad, but it's not very often I come to this place. In total, I've been to this place less than 10 times in my whole life. So it's only sort of going back here because I'm getting up earlier, because I've been on the vodka and drinking lots of hard spirits, and instead of that I'm going on to like the weaker drink, but rather than, I'm just buying these like gin and tonics, you know, these cocktail drinks, and mixing it with lager, you know, and trying to get my drinking down that way. And obviously I started smoking again, but a lot of it's because I wanted to smoke again, because obviously I went to my dad's, he was smoking gold leaf. I thought, what is there in life, you know? You think that your life's going downhill, you're not going to get a girlfriend, you're too old. I mean, you can't get a prostitute. In actual fact, there is something I'll tell you about that, and I'll mention it quickly. I'll just go through it very, very quickly, because I've got to get that on the bus and, you know, leave here in about 5 minutes. And that is, prostitutes nail you as a sick cunt if there's more than 3 years difference in age. Going back to the 80s, 90s, or before that time, and if you go back to Jesus' time, they're much the same as then, right up until the year 2000, roughly. You even had child prostitutes. They'll go with men in their 60s, 70s, or whatever. Well, obviously, that doesn't occur these days. And even through suggestions, you know, through government suggestions or whatever, TV programmes, they're even saying, oh, she's a child prostitute, she goes with everyone, you know. You don't get that today. Everyone is strict. Obviously it's going to have to be a lady, because you know, it's 18, but you can't get that. But let me give you the story. So I told you about the past when it comes to prostitutes. When we reach the 2000s, they won't give you nothing more than a blowjob. And today, since the lockdown, they don't meet up at all. And they charge the same price just for a telephone call. But if we come to go back a few years, even back before the lockdown, when I tried getting someone in 2015 or whatever, and never had anyone, they are warning me, these people, that these prostitutes are traps to smash the fuck into people, or to beat them, or to beat them up, or to knife them. Because they're saying that people shouldn't be with prostitutes, they should be with a loving, caring girlfriend and having sex that way, and that there's no need for anyone at all to have a prostitute. And that's their wording. They say no one at all. They're saying everyone's had sex, and then people have told me that everyone has sex on a Friday night when they go to the club. But the problem is, what about me? I haven't had nothing. But they don't take that into account. Anyway, back in the 1990s, before I never knew any prostitutes and I was too young and whatever else. I just couldn't, you know, I was always controlled, you know, even when I was a child or a teenager. People were stopping me getting anyone. So, you had two choices. Safe sex would cost one amount. So safe sex is where you wear a condom. And then you had XX, hardcore sex, or whatever you want to call it, where you don't wear a condom. So they could charge quite a lot, actually, just for the change. So for safe sex, they might charge you, say, 60 quid. But if you want sex without a condom, or you want proper hardcore sex, then they'd probably charge you something like 100 quid, maybe 120 quid. That's how they were working in the 90s or whatever. And some would like druggies, or some people just enjoyed the sex, and they'd only charge a quid or whatever. Or they'd just do their friends for free. And back in that time, they were specifically trying to help people that had a bad life, or people that have had an unfortunate life. But it's not like that today. There's many different changes. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not going to get anyone. It's too late to do anything. So, you know, my life's a bit buggered, really. So, but that's the history, you know. I mean, whatever's happened in the past, what people have done in the past, I'm just mentioning what's happened. And also the other thing I want to mention, going off that subject a minute, just before I have to leave the church, is the burning from energy weapons. Nobody was using energy weapons or burning people back in those days. I don't know if it was occurring on the really rough estates, but it was not something that was heard of. or it's something that's never occurred on people, even the nasty people or the child rapists or perverts or whatever. It seemed to be it's different back then. Obviously there's some violence about, obviously, because there was a lot more violence. Most people that were nasty had to verify the facts first. They wouldn't just go and attack someone or do this. They had to confirm, they had to guarantee, like looking at people's ID to guarantee it's that person, and when they find out it is, then they launch an attack or try smashing the car windows or try smashing your windows through, or getting nasty like that if you've done something bitterly wrong or there's something wrong. Obviously you had those that would start for no reason at all, but today it seems to be people listen to what people say about verifying the facts first and causing trouble on whatever the trouble is. But I'm going to have to leave it there on that, but it's worth mentioning, and I'll keep you updated with the rest of the setups that occur when I'm out until I get back. Not always can I get the last bit back, mention the last part before I get back, because it's difficult, but if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But I'll try and mention it, because there's a section when I walk back from the bus station to mine where it's hard to...
Inside then.
You want me to bring that up for you?
It's very heavy.
Yeah, that's alright.
Just into there. That'd be great.
Alright.
Thanks very much.
That's okay. Right, so I left the church. There wasn't really any problems actually to start with. It's just a gentle walk on the road. But someone did bow whistle, shot dead child molester, and then there was fire smell in a bookshop. Another smashed glass looking and shops. Right, so Seagull saying Justin shot dead repeatedly, and fuck, I would say the name is mixed. And same being a child molester, Justin, and shot dead. That's also repeated. Right, everyone moves movement, roadways, every road, every single house actually, since I got off the bus. There's been someone time to come out or some obstacle or movement around me. Drains hit over, black and blue. Bonus motorbike flew on the bus. Light blue sectional with light on, the grey sectional. Waiting right, grey sectional. Circle on the bus last for 30 minutes. Red sectional, Somerset Waste Partnership, red sectional with light on. Right, I've been photographed 7 times by people in cars, and 1 time, which is included, from someone getting off on the bus, sorry. A young couple. Right, the traffic flow's heavy. I have known it heavier though for this road. Train comes hit over. Been thrown off the wall off the road for a drink of water, and now they've forced me up another road, so and where this goes, so nothing you can do about it. The government controlled me like a piece of shit. Somerset Waste Partnership, black and fucking blue, white and knife shaped. So they're rigging up all this next to a picture I need to take a picture of, because the government don't want me taking pictures of quite simply nothing, and it makes them nasty. So this is why they have to do it. Right, it's called... Actually, the picture's not coming in focus for some reason. We had this the other day, on another picture. So yeah, quite simply I've had to do some reissues on this. Yeah, that's basically the best it gets. I have to accept an out of focus fucking picture Downing Street. You're just making it too fucking difficult to get any fucking photos, you nasty bastards. You slam nasty ice hats and fucking fire staking cunts. No, I can't get the picture. I've tried doing it, but you're going to have to accept it out of focus. That's the best it gets, and I'm the professional photographer with this fucking shit. No, I can't get it. There's just too much fucking satanic fucking force with the government. They don't like it, you see, because it doesn't make a sexual suggestion, you see. The government only want you taking pictures of SEX and plenty. But this is the fucking problem. They're fucked up. Fuck's sake. You expect it to come out, just one picture to come fucking out after snap, snap, snap. This is of another fucking piss take picture. I can't get a picture of. It's out of focus. Completely down your street. It's out of focus. You can't do it. You just cannot do it. The camera has not got the fucking capability to fucking take a fucking picture that's in fucking focus. It's got to be a sexy day with the sun out. Okay? It's got to be a very sexy day with the sun out. Sex and sun. I'm gonna have to use that picture and just clarify it. It's not fucking good. There's no way you can get it if you do anything about it. You've got to piss about because the government. But yes, there's a sexual motorbike to my willy going up down the street. The government are cheering again. 300 cars as the government cheer. Yeah, ripping you to pieces. Yeah. Boner. It's a bike only. After a couple of light learner cars. There was about another couple of hundred cars before that. It's like they design these digital cameras for sun. Government are cheering as there's a gun looking vehicle my way. Then black, 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 black. Black sexual with light on. Gun. Need to be shot dead so they can sex suck the guts in and out of me. As a child, in satanic rituals in my next life, drinking my blood and then knifing me to the floor. And then murdering me. In the fireplace, playing about with me with poker sticks. The seagull goes hee 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 hee. I was stepping sick. More bike issues to erections. Back goes crooked, because obviously everything's crooked. Right, so on the last stages going back, so I leave it on record, see how busy it is. This section's quite unusual, I noticed. Time to be coughed and sneezed and I can't move, the cars are stopping me cross. I'm going to have to face this. The government do this all the fucking time. This is just a recording of it. There's someone timed out there. This section's quite unusual as well. No, I don't know, it's just picking up now. I'd say, for this bay. I'm literally moderate for that as well, because that road is usually packed, the dual carriageway part. Two black sectionals by black sex. Right, so back home is everything else having a break in, bikes, directions and a few threats.